So Dave Reddin and Steve Tandy have both officially started their roles now at the top of Welsh Rugby, and they've got a massive job on their hands. But the first thing they're going to need to do is get in a coaching setup that is going to be able to put their message forward and take Wales forward and developing and trying to win some games. So I've kind of gone with who I think they might go with, and then what I kind of think of that decision. So first of all, the defence has got to go to Steve Tandy. I understand he's the head coach and he's got other things to think about, but that's what his bread and butter is. He's done a good job elsewhere, and I think rather, obviously Gethin Jenkins was doing it and he's going to have gone back to Cardiff, so I think Steve Tandy should just take the defence, really hone in and sort that out, because that has been an issue for us. Make us really difficult to beat first of all, like in the Gatland era when we had Sean Edwards, but really him focus on defence and getting all of the issues that we have, getting a system in place and getting that sorted. And then the attack was quite an interesting one. A lot of talk of Matt Sherratt, considering he was obviously there temporarily as the head coach and a lot of experience as attack coach before he started his head coach role at Cardiff. But I don't see him taking a backward step really. So what I would do if it was up to me, and I think it's attainable, is bring in Lee Blackett. He's obviously got a lot of experience, got a good reputation as well, been involved with Bath in that successful period there, and he had a bit of time at Scarlet, so he's got that familiarity with Welsh Rugby, got familiarity with some of the players, and actually listening back to some of the players that played under him, they talked really high of him, the difference he made, and it was noticeable within the team's performances when he came in to help Dwayne Peel. I think he would be a really good one. He's got head coach experience as well, so I think he could come across if they could get him. It might cost a bit of money. This job might not necessarily be that attractive given where Wales are. Maybe we could pull him in, and if we could, I think that would be a really good coup. The forwards coach then, keep a bit of continuity, and I would stick with Danny Wilson. He's obviously wants to be involved with Welsh Rugby because he came over during the summer. Obviously he's at the Harlequins, but if they could bring him in, I think Danny Wilson has always been better when he's been a forwards coach, and no disrespect, he's a good head coach as well, but I think he always seems to improve the packs that he works with. He's got a lot of experience as well and understands the Welsh game because he's been in different places in Wales as well, so he understands that, and he's got the real sort of systems I think that he can put in place, and it'll be good for Steve Tandy to lean on someone of his experience as well. And then going on to the scrum, which has been quite a big issue for the last few years. Obviously if Adam Jones is still available and wants to do it, I would get him in, but the one I would really look at is Duncan Jones. Whether they do it together or one does part-time, one's full-time, or they both do it part-time, I'm not too sure. But Duncan Jones has really impressed me with what he's managed to do with some of the Ospreys forwards, especially at scrum time. When you think of all of Ospreys props over the last couple of years, they've all either been good at scrummaging or improved under his coaching. The younger guys like Garen Phillips and Ben Warren that have come in this season, their scrummaging has looked so much better as the season's gone on, and I think it's got to be down to Duncan Jones. And we constantly hear about Welsh coaches not getting opportunities and not being developed. I think that would be really valuable for Welsh Rugby and for him, and I really do think he's an excellent coach and hear really good things about his coaching and his knowledge of the game as well. And then the skills coach, which was the last one I wanted to talk about, was kind of a different one, difficult one to pick out. Obviously T. Reece Thomas did it in the summer and he has a good reputation, obviously working at Gloucester, who play some fantastic rugby, and the way they play as well, those skills, they have to be good because they chuck the ball around. He came in, and granted it was a different sort of setup and it was only a small sample size, but we did look more fluid playing and a bit more comfortable throwing the ball around in the summer. So maybe if he wants to come in, I don't know if he'd want to come on permanently or just be sort of temporary again. Or maybe outside one would have been, which some people may roll their eyes at, but I really like Di Flanagan for this role. Obviously his time at the Dragons didn't go well, but he is a really good coach by all accounts. Everyone says about his understanding of the game and he really puts his message across well. I think really anyone would have struggled in that Dragon setup. You saw when Flanagan left, there was no real difference when Tia took over. So I think it was a bit of a poison chalice. He was thrown into that job when he wasn't ready for it, let's be brutally honest, and did the best with what he could. But recently gone over to Saris, as an attack coach. And, you know, if anyone knows anything about that setup, very, very successful, very high standards. So getting into that, you know schmuck, you have to know what you're talking about to get into that. So I think he would be a good sort of bringing back into Wales and carrying on his development as like an assistant, rather than just letting him go off into sort of the wilderness and go and coach other places like we've done to some of the other Welsh coaches. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If there's anyone you think that I've kind of missed or you'd prefer to see, let me know in the comments. Check out dragonsports.co.uk and I'll catch you on the next one.